guys, it's Bryn. Hello, good morning. Yes, I'm laying down on the couch. Yes, I realize it probably looks ridiculous, but this is how we're gonna film today's video. Assuming my arm doesn't just give out and collapse on my face. I kind of feel like I'm filming a very weird music video, but whatever. We're gonna get past this. So really, like, I've just been sitting here or laying here on the couch for the past few minutes, just kind of lost in thought. It's a really disgusting rainy day today, and these kind of days always just make me so overtired and like I start overthinking everything for no apparent reason. And I just felt like with this month being Mental Health Awareness Month and with everything that has happened recently, the Manchester attack just happened a few days ago, and for the past week or so I have been feeling extremely anxious. And then with things like this happening, it kind of just sets it to a whole new level. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. It just never felt like the right time for some reason. But I do think things like this are important to talk about because mental health is so stigmatized, and I have no idea why, because everyone deals with it, I feel like, in some form or another. For me, like, I've always been an anxiety prone person. Like, I get easily stressed. I feel that stress in a ton of different ways. But it was probably around the time that I got diagnosed with celiac disease that my anxiety really just shot through the roof, because I had family issues going on with family members who had passed away or were really sick, and friends who had passed away or were really sick. And it just took such a toll on me that I didn't know how to handle it. Like, as a 19-year-old girl, I didn't know how to deal with that kind of emotional turmoil. So after that, I got extremely anxious. I started having panic attacks constantly. If I left the house or if my parents left the house, I would just break into tears because I was so scared that something bad was going to happen. Even if I didn't know what that was going to be, I was terrified. And I went to urgent care multiple times because I was having, you know, stomach aches and chest pains and headaches, probably from having undiagnosed celiac disease. And then my anxiety just got the better of me, and I thought I was like having heart attacks and that I was dying. And it was a lot for a 19-year-old girl to handle. A lot for anybody to handle, really. And then one time I ended up going to urgent care, and someone said, "Have you ever thought that maybe you have anxiety?" And I was like, no. And at the time, my parents and I, we kind of just brushed it off as like not that big of a deal. And for some reason, when I was going through all this, I didn't want anyone to know about it. I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my friends, and I would stay up halfway through the night because I couldn't sleep, and I didn't want to tell anyone what was going on in my head because I didn't know what was going on in my head, to be honest. Then a little while later, I kind of just broke out in a panic attack in front of my parents and had no choice but to tell them what was wrong. And that's when we were all kind of like, oh, this is anxiety. This is a real thing, and we have to figure out a way to get through this. Just having like a word for it and having an explanation of what was going on with me and telling somebody made the biggest difference. Like, just accepting it in my head, understanding what it was, and that it wasn't just random fear, right? And that other people went through it and it wasn't just me, made me feel a million times better. And it wasn't an immediate fix. Like, I don't want you to think like, oh, all of a sudden I was cured. I went to therapy. I dealt with it for years. I'm still dealing with it. Less than I used to, but it still happens every few weeks, few months. It'll pop up and I can't do anything about it. So I think it's important for me as someone with anxiety to tell you about my issue with it in case you might have it, because just knowing that other people have it and that it's not some weird, strange, unusual thing that only a handful of people deal with and that you might be the only one is so not true, and it's so harmful, and it makes me upset that people actually think that way, because I used to think that way, and I found out since then that I was completely wrong. You do not have to feel that way, and once you realize that you are not the only one that feels that way, that you are normal, you are not defined by your anxiety, it's just something that you're dealing with, it's not something that you have, it's not something that's yours, it's just something that's in your head that you can deal with and you can move on from, just like any other thought that goes through your head. Anxiety is just a thought, and you can move past it and you can go beyond it, and it does not define you. Like, that's just so important to know and to understand, and I wish it was more talked about so that no one had to feel like they were a freak or a weirdo because they dealt with anxiety or depression or any other type of mental health. It's gotten like progressively darker outside as I've been filming this, and it feels so ominous, and it feels like I'm doing this on purpose, but I'm not. I'm just rambling at this point, so sorry for the weird angle. I just felt like laying down while talking to you because it just felt more relaxing, and I just feel more comfortable this way. There's the rain. Hi, Mandy. It's about to get really loud, so I'm gonna finish this really fast. But when my routine gets messed up, when the weather changes, or when like traumatic events happen, kind of like this Manchester thing that I don't even want to talk about, I'm just so upset by, that tends to be when my anxiety just goes wild, and all of those things are happening right now. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. If you're dealing with anxiety or depression or any other type of mental health, I wish you the best of luck. You are strong, you can get through it like every other time you've gotten through it before, and I highly recommend just talking to someone about it, whether it's just a family member or a friend that you trust, or whether it's going to therapy. Like, all of that stuff has helped me, and I don't know where I would be without it. So I'm just gonna chill here and listen to the rain for a little bit like a loser. And I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!